Imagine standing at the center of a roaring storm. Winds scream, waves crash, chaos unfolds around you. Yet at the heart of this tempest, there is a space untouched by the fury, a tranquil eye of the storm. That space is where we must live. In a world teeming with provocation, anger, and fear, the key to our survival lies not in controlling the chaos, but in mastering our own stillness. This stillness, this unshakable calm, is not a gift bestowed upon the few. It is earned, carved into our minds by discipline, by self-control, and by unyielding fortitude. The ancient Stoics knew this better than anyone. They lived, not to escape the storm, but to remain serene within it. Today, we explore 10 timeless lessons from Stoicism that will guide us toward that inner calm, even when the world seems determined to shatter our peace. These are not just philosophies. They are shields forged in fire, weapons of the mind to help us stand resilient and unmoved. Let the storm rage. We will not be broken. Lesson 1. Control what's yours to control. In the pursuit of inner peace, nothing matters more than understanding the boundaries of your control. The world is a chaotic canvas painted with events, circumstances, and actions that exist beyond our command. The only thing we truly own is ourselves, our thoughts, our actions, and our responses. Epictetus, the slave-turned-philosopher, reminds us, some things are up to us, and some are not up to us. We may not control how others behave, what they say, or what fate throws in our path, but we have absolute authority over how we respond to these challenges. This realization is liberation. Once we let go of the futile desire to manipulate the uncontrollable, a profound calm seeps into our being. Imagine someone's words sting like a blade. Do you lash out in fury, or do you hold your composure, recognizing that their behavior belongs to them, not you? By focusing only on your sphere of control, you fortify yourself against emotional turbulence. You become a fortress that no external storm can breach. Every time you encounter frustration or anger, ask yourself, is this within my control? If it isn't, release it. Focus instead on mastering your reaction, for in that mastery lies your freedom. Lesson 2. Detach from outcomes. Embrace the process. We are often trapped in the web of expectations, clinging desperately to the results we envision. We strive, we plan, we pour ourselves into our efforts, only to be shattered when reality refuses to align with our desires. This attachment breeds anxiety, frustration, and despair. But what if we let go of the outcome and committed only to the effort itself? Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic sage, once wrote, "Do not let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." The future is uncertain, and outcomes are unpredictable. Our responsibility is not to ensure success, but to give our best effort, to act with virtue and integrity, regardless of the result. Imagine you're preparing for a crucial exam, a job interview, or a challenging conversation. You can control your preparation, your demeanor, and your intentions, but the final outcome is beyond your grasp. If you attach your sense of worth to that outcome, you hand over your peace of mind to chance. Instead, commit fully to the process. Revel in the work itself, knowing that excellence lies in effort, not in a result you can't guarantee. By detaching from outcomes, we free ourselves from fear and disappointment. We anchor ourselves in what we can do here and now. This is where our power resides. This is where serenity lives. Lesson 3. Master the art of delayed reaction. When someone provokes us, insults us, or challenges us, the instinctual urge to retaliate is like a flame ready to consume our composure. But acting on impulse is the mark of a mind enslaved by emotion. A calm mind knows how to delay its reaction, to give itself the space between stimulus and response. In that space lies freedom. In that space lies mastery. Epictetus once said, "If you wish to be a writer, write. If you wish to be calm, practice being calm." True composure isn't a gift bestowed upon us. It is a discipline we cultivate. When the world throws chaos in our path, we pause. We observe the rush of anger, the sting of pride, the heat of irritation, and we choose not to react immediately. Instead, we allow ourselves a breath, a moment of stillness. This simple pause drains the venom from the situation and grants us clarity. Consider a confrontation with a colleague or a loved one. The urge to lash out or defend yourself may rise swiftly. But if you practice delaying your reaction, even by just a few seconds, you regain control. You see the situation for what it is. Temporary, trivial, and not worth sacrificing your inner peace. This art of delayed reaction isn't about suppressing emotion, it's about transcending it. It's about choosing who we want to be, rather than being puppets to our passions. And in that choice, we find a calm that no insult, no conflict, and no challenge can shake. Lesson 4. Detach from what you can't control. We spend so much of our lives trying to bend the world to our will. We fight against events, people, and circumstances that refuse to align with our expectations. And in that resistance, frustration festers. The path to calm lies in detachment, an understanding that much of life lies beyond our control. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus reminds us, some things are up to us, and some are not up to us. This simple truth is profound. We cannot control other people's opinions, the twists of fate, or the tides of fortune, but we can control our responses, our choices, and our perceptions. Once we accept this, we liberate ourselves from the torment of trying to control the uncontrollable. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm, screaming at the wind to stop. It's futile, isn't it? The storm cares not for your demands. But if you choose to accept the storm, to shelter yourself, and to remain composed, then the storm loses its power over you. Life's challenges are no different. When someone betrays you, when an opportunity slips away, when plans shatter, know that these are the winds of existence beyond your dominion. Your power lies in your response. You can resist reality and suffer, or you can detach from what you can't control and remain at peace. The choice is always yours. By focusing only on what you can influence, your thoughts, your actions, your attitude, you gain mastery over the chaos around you. And that mastery is unshakable. Lesson 5. Master your inner dialogue. Our minds are ceaseless narrators, crafting stories from every event, shaping the world through the lens of our interpretations. These stories can either shackle us in anxiety or liberate us into tranquility. The true battle lies within, the war between our impulsive emotions and our rational judgments. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What he understood, and what we must embrace, is that calm is born from mastering the stories we tell ourselves. When faced with adversity, do we narrate our own victimhood, or do we speak of endurance, fortitude, and the opportunity to grow? The story determines the outcome. Consider a harsh insult hurled at you. The words themselves are harmless vibrations of air. It is your interpretation that imbues them with pain. Instead of fueling outrage, ask yourself, does this insult change who I am? If the answer is no, the insult holds no power. We are not defined by others' opinions, we are defined by our response to them. Mastery of the inner dialogue means replacing destructive self-talk with thoughts that serve you. Instead of "why is this happening to me?" ask, "what can I learn from this?" Instead of "I can't endure this," affirm, "I am capable of more than I know." Through this practice, calm becomes not just a state, but a way of being. The words we feed our minds shape our reality. To master your mind is to master your world. Lesson 6. Accept what you cannot control. In this unpredictable world, we often find ourselves trying to control everything: the outcome of events, the actions of others, or the twists of fate. This is the root of much of our distress. We resist the natural flow of life, grasping for certainty where none exists. The Stoics remind us that this pursuit is futile and self-destructive. Epictetus wisely declared, "Some things are up to us, and some are not up to us." When we try to manipulate the uncontrollable, we wage war against reality itself. Imagine trying to control the wind or command the rain to fall only where you wish. Absurd, isn't it? Yet this is what we do when we demand that people behave as we desire, or that life grants us a perfect path free of obstacles. Calmness emerges when we surrender this futile desire for control. Instead of resisting reality, we accept it. This doesn't mean passive resignation. It means we focus our energy on the one thing within our grasp: our own thoughts, actions, and responses. If someone betrays you, you cannot control their actions. You can, however, control your response, whether you descend into bitterness or rise into wisdom. If a sudden storm disrupts your plans, you cannot halt the rain, but you can choose how to proceed without agitation. Acceptance is not weakness. It is strength refined by understanding. When we accept what we cannot change, we conserve our energy for meaningful action. This is the path to inner peace, a peace unshaken by the chaos around us, a fortress that no external force can breach. Surrender to what is beyond your control, and you will find yourself freer than you've ever been. Lesson 7. Detach from destructive emotions. Our emotions, like fire, can serve us or consume us. We all know the burning sensation of anger, the suffocating grip of anxiety, and the drowning weight of despair. These emotions, if left unchecked, corrode our peace and drive us to irrational actions. The Stoics teach us to recognize these flames early and to extinguish them before they spread. Seneca, one of the great Stoic thinkers, warned, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." The power lies not in avoiding these emotions entirely, but in learning not to let them control us. When we detach from destructive emotions, we refuse to be puppets manipulated by fleeting impulses. Picture yourself observing your own mind, watching emotions rise and fall like waves. You are not the wave, you are the ocean. The wave of anger might surge, but you remain grounded, refusing to let it crash into rash decisions. Anxiety may ripple across the surface, but you remain steady, knowing that the depths are calm and unshaken. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means discipline. It means having the fortitude to pause, breathe, and ask, is this emotion serving me, or is it ruling me? When you detach, you give yourself the power to respond rather than react, to stay in control rather than be controlled. Let us remember that destructive emotions are visitors, not residents. They knock at the door of our minds, but we decide whether to let them stay. If we cultivate this awareness and detachment, we free ourselves from their tyranny, and in that freedom, we find serenity. Lesson 8. Control what you can, accept what you can't. In life, we're often plagued by the illusion of control. We twist, we grasp, we struggle to bend reality to our will. But the Stoics teach us a timeless truth. Some things are within our power, and others lie far beyond it. It is only when we understand this distinction that we gain true peace. Epictetus said, "Some things are up to us, and some are not up to us." Our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, these are within our grasp. But the actions of others, the tides of fate, and the winds of fortune, these are not ours to command. When we cling to the uncontrollable, we set ourselves up for frustration, disappointment, and rage. Imagine standing before a raging storm. You cannot silence the thunder, nor can you halt the downpour. But you can take shelter. You can choose how to respond. Life's storms are many: betrayal, loss, failure, but our power lies in our response. We can let these storms sweep us away, or we can anchor ourselves in calm resolve. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The serenity we seek does not come from controlling the world. It comes from controlling our perception of it. When we release the need to control what's outside us, we reclaim our inner fortitude. Accepting what we cannot control isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And focusing on what we can control isn't resignation, it's empowerment. In this delicate balance, we find a path to unshakable calm. We find liberation. Lesson 9. The power of perspective. Reality is filtered through the lens of our perception. The Stoics knew this well. What we see, what we feel, and how we react are determined not by the event itself, but by the narrative we assign to it. If we wish to keep calm in the chaos of life, we must learn to master our perspective. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Consider that for a moment. If we see the world through a lens of bitterness, frustration, or fear, our lives become painted with those hues. But if we choose to see challenges as opportunities, losses as lessons, and obstacles as stepping stones, we transform the entire world around us. When someone insults us, it is not the insult that wounds us, it is our interpretation of the insult. When a plan fails, it is not the failure itself that shatters us, it is the story we tell ourselves about what the failure means. The Stoics remind us, we are not disturbed by events, but by our judgments about those events. In any difficult situation, ask yourself, what story am I telling myself? Is it a story of defeat and despair, or one of resilience and growth? Reframe the narrative. Take a higher vantage point. See the challenge as a test of your fortitude. See the betrayal as a lesson in discernment. See the hardship as a forge for your character. We cannot control what happens to us, but we can control the meaning we give it. When we change our perspective, we change our experience of life. This is the key to maintaining calm in the face of turmoil. We become the masters of our own narrative, and in that mastery, we find peace. Lesson 10. Accept what you cannot change. There is a profound peace that comes with truly accepting that some things are beyond our control. One of the central tenets of Stoicism is the wisdom to distinguish between what we can change and what we cannot. When we learn to let go of the urge to control the uncontrollable, we unlock an inner peace that cannot be disturbed. Seneca, one of the most respected Stoic philosophers, famously said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Much of our distress comes not from the actual events of our lives, but from our constant resistance to the things we cannot change. Whether it is the actions of others, the passage of time, or the whims of fate, there are countless things we cannot control. What then should we do when confronted with such things? We should accept them. Acceptance is not passivity, nor is it resignation. It is the recognition of reality as it is. It is saying, this is the way it is right now, and I can choose how to respond. When we accept the things we cannot change, we free ourselves from the tyranny of frustration, anxiety, and helplessness. The storm may rage around us, but within, we remain calm. The chaos may swirl, but we remain unmoved, like the eye of a hurricane. The Stoic sage knows that everything in life is temporary. Challenges, setbacks, and suffering are part of the human experience, but they do not define us. Our power lies in how we choose to respond. We can choose to accept, to adapt, and to endure. True calm comes not from attempting to control everything, but from the courage to accept what cannot be controlled. Only then can we cultivate the peace that Stoicism promises, a peace that remains unshaken by the vicissitudes of life. If you found these Stoic lessons valuable, don't keep them to yourself. Share this video with someone who might need to hear it. Remember, self-control and calm aren't just practices. They are pathways to a more fulfilled, peaceful life. If you want more content like this to transform your mindset and live a life of fortitude, hit the like button, subscribe to The Modern Stoic, and don't forget to click the bell icon so you never miss an update. We're in this together, and as Stoics, our growth is a shared journey. And here's a thought. Leave a comment below about the lesson that resonated with you the most. What have you learned about keeping calm in the face of adversity? Let's engage, share wisdom, and continue building a community of Stoic thinkers.